Hello. Okay, so I'm sorry about that. I let me see. Can I hold it this way? No, I can't. I have to hold it this way. All right. So let's see. Yeah. So I hope that I'm getting a notification going out because I set this all up. My hat has hair on it. My dog. So I sent out this. I sent this out, and so where's the camera over here? Okay. So I sent this out, and I set it all up, and I just want to make sure. Okay. Hey, Patriot, could you just let me know? Did you get a notification for this second one? I know that people got a notification for the first one. I just want to make sure that people were getting a notification for this, because I went live and then I thought I was like, wait, I gotta put the I had to put, because I like to be transparent, so I tried to. You did. Okay, good. Okay, so I try to be transparent, and I did include Omar. I mean, Nair. I mean, Nur. I mean, said Nur. I mean, Omar. Ilhan Omar. Okay. We'll go with that for now, right? Rep Ilhan Omar. We'll go with that. Even though we know. Okay. So I forgot to put the article to back up what I'm talking about as far as it comes to her. But today, of course, was Happy Mueller Day. Oof. Man, he looked like an old man that had forgotten a lot. It almost seemed like he was just like a figurehead, and the people under him ran the investigation, which makes sense. They had to stick to legal terms in the Mueller report. I actually read the whole Mueller report. And I did notice that it didn't start getting juicy as far as like if they had anything on Trump until like around like just before like the 100th page. So it was a tough read, but at that point it started picking up. And I was curious to see this, and I went into this to be objective. I wanted to be objective when I watched that. When I watched this. Well, not objective. I wanted to go in there without any but of course I know what I know. I know the origins, which is the real problem. That's the real investigation, is the origins of how did we get here. And I think I know the Democrats are not happy. Now they're gonna pretend like, I just heard somebody, um, he's running for president there. Yeah, he has no chance. But Swalhall, Rep Swalhall, or Governor Swalhall. I believe he's the governor. He's the one that wants to give, in California, like they don't have enough problems with the tent cities in LA. It's worse than like a third world country there. And he wants to give health care and everything to illegal immigrants. And don't get me wrong, see, sometimes people kind of like, it's easy to get so wrapped up in the politics that you forget about people. And I do feel bad that these people come from a country um, where they really do have a tough time. But we are a nation. If the world is a bunch of nations and not this one world order, which would be totally horrible, and which is the direction that the whole world was going, and then Trump kind of set the domino effect, and boom, all of a sudden Italy style, they had somebody who was like a populist, kind of stood for. To me, a populist is like common sense. They stand for common sense, and the world, as long as humans are, as long as we are human, I think that the world is not going to be a good place with, I want a better background. The world's not going to be a good place as long as, absolute power absolutely corrupts. We're all human. And if there's a one world order, I understand what people were trying for, and I think their hearts were in the right place. But really, it's just about, you know, um, is this thing like kind of shaking? It's really just about, when it comes down to it, it would fulfill everything they've been trying to do for all these years. And it's amazing how far they actually came and how long it took for the American people to stand up and show the rest of the world this is not the way. The EU, all that, it's not the way. Hello, Claire de Gua. Hello from Arkansas. Hello from Boston. Ola from Arizona. And how you doing, Veronica? Good to see you. Kelly Kibo, good to see you. Patriot, good to see you. And so yeah, I wanted to see what you guys thought about the testimony today. So I was just watching, like I was saying, the governor. I kind of get off track. I start thinking out loud. But the governor from California, I believe he's the governor. If he's not the governor, he's a rep. But I believe he's the governor. Is that correct? Swalwell? You guys know him, right? He's one of the people running for president. Why? I don't know. Because he needs to look at California. He needs to look long and hard at California. There's a lot of money in California, but there should be a lot of money in California. A lot of very intelligent people go to California. You have Silicon Valley there. You have all that kind of stuff, and they seem to think that the best way to go is to give everybody health care. I mean, you're having very sick people, and now look at California. You go to an emergency room in Southern California, see what happens. They'll have you. They'll come out, and if you're experiencing certain symptoms that could reflect some of the things they're worried about, oh man, it's not going to be a nice visit at all. I see a lot of that, and they want to give health care to everybody in California, including illegals. Now, I believe in giving health care to every U.S. citizen. Um, I believe that people that work shouldn't have to foot the bill in the manner that they do. Now, if it's like pennies on the dollar, and everyone kind of chips in and makes sure that everyone does have access to healthcare, that's one thing. But it's another thing when I spoke to someone the other day on this channel. They called in and they're spending $800 a month, 400 for the husband, 400 for her. That's not right. That's not the way. And we all would love to help everybody, help the world. But we are the United States of America, and as long as we are the United States of America, and I hope that that stays like that for a long time, then we need to be a sovereign nation with borders that thrives off of immigration, legal immigration. You know, I, I I'm not one of those people who just like, oh, I don't want anyone coming here. No, I do want people to come here, and so does the president. But we want the right people coming here. We don't want it to be through lottery because those can be totally corrupted. We don't want it, they send bad people here in an effort to ruin what we got going. And when you look around, not exactly is having a great American experience. And the people who are really hurting are the people who are with the Democrats. I hate to generalize people, but if you go by the numbers, it's the blacks, it's the Latinos. But if you really ask them deep down, they don't want illegal immigrants coming and taking the few jobs that are left when they're struggling. They're working multiple jobs. Latinos that are here, they kind of now with the Trump effect, they kind of do get treated a little bit different because some people do get the message wrong. They take it as race, whereas this is about this country being the best it can be, and it, it's really the media who makes it about race. Unfortunately, if they should hate anybody about race, it should be America. I mean, it should be the media in America, and that's something I'm going to delve into as far as Ilhan Omar and a interview that has resurfaced. Q actually put it out there. He actually also coined the phrase today that 2019 is the year of the boomerang. But first, of course, I want to talk about the Mueller report. So first, I want to just a general feel for the audience. What do you guys feel about the Mueller? What did you guys, if you had watched it, any thoughts? Anybody? Okay, you need the skinny. Okay, okay. So I'll give you the skinny Patriot. So I watched the whole thing. I also watched both sides. I watched the aftermath as well. I watched it. I watched from Republicans and what they were saying afterwards, how they felt. The president. I watched what the Democrats were saying afterwards, as well as it was like Pelosi, Schiff. Oh, what's his name? Why can't I think of his name? The big black guy. He's the chair on a lot of different boards. Um, big black guy for the Democrats in the House. He was there anyway. So Schiff, Pelosi, him, um, kind of like their figureheads for the House. Nadler, who was actually the chairman on the on this issue, or at least on the original, on the early, on the morning. By the way, was just like the House, because the whole thing was the House Intelligence Committee. That was this afternoon. That was the one that was a little bit more juicy, better questions, and the morning was also the House, but it wasn't the Intelligence Committee, where the Intelligence Committee is 12 members, 6 Democrats, 6 Republican, yet the Democrats hold the majority in the House, so their chairman is Schiff. Did I say him? Because he was there too afterwards talking. Schiff, Shifty Schiff, piece of shit Schiff. He was there, as well as so yeah, so they had the 6 and 6 from the Intelligence Committee. In the morning, they had basically just all different people from the House who wanted to ask questions. And what they would do is they would kind of, almost like a prosecutor would, they would ask Mueller a few questions. The Democrats were more kind of friendly towards Mueller, of course. That would make sense, right? A little bit more friendly towards him, a little bit lighter questions, but at the same time, they were kind of digging at him too. And it seems like most of the questions were aimed at obstruction of justice, whereas the Republicans were more so aimed at not just trying to like diffuse whatever they were working on, whatever it seemed to be going on that the Democrats were doing. It seemed like the Republicans kind of went in there in the morning, like without an exact game plan. They kind of played off of what the Democrats were doing, which I think was a smart strategy. And it ended up working, especially this afternoon. So in the morning, that's how it kind of went. They kept on kind of touching on obstruction. And like I said, I went into this with an open mind. So an open mind, as if I do have some biases, but I tried my best to put them aside and look at them from someone else's point of view who might be totally down the middle, although I don't know if that person exists these days with the way this country's going. So, what ended up happening was what I got from it. The Democrats, first I'll go with the Democrat side. What I saw from them that raised my eyebrows. So, they brought up the fact that, well, even if you did find something, you couldn't charge him. You can't charge a sitting president if you're going on the precedent set by a justice. I forget the justice's name, but yeah, so there's a certain precedence that you cannot indict a sitting president. So they tried to paint that picture, like, you know, that they're basically trying to paint the picture like there's a lot there. And yes, just because he didn't, come down and say charge him now, or but he wasn't so strong in the Mueller report. There was some stuff in there, almost kind of like passing the buck over to the House Judiciary, which I think was the first. Yeah, the House Judiciary was the morning one, and then the House Intelligence in the afternoon. And so, with that done, I know I'm kind of jumping on. I just got a million different things in my mind. So from the Democrat side, that's what it seemed that they were trying to do. They were trying to show that that the president can't be indicted. And then one of them, actually Ted Lieu, if you guys know Ted Lieu, the Asian fella, Democrat, he said, well, so are you saying that when can you charge him? If you did find something, when can you charge him? And what they said was, well, you could charge him, you know, once 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 his presidency is over, once he's not president anymore. Then it came up, and they said, well, with the statute of limitations being 5 years, and this happening, and if it did happen, let's say, in 2016 through 2017, maybe a little bit into 2018, if he was to win 4 more, if he was to win the next election, which he will, what then? And Mueller didn't have an answer for that. And that was the picture they were trying to paint. Now, to describe Mueller came off as, let me quote big time Democrat Michael Moore. He came off as a senile old man who didn't know his own investigation, who was fragile, forgetful, and couldn't answer the most basic of questions. 100 times he in the past, we've seen this from other people where they say, I do not recall. And you know that that's bullshit when they say it that many times. That's kind of like their go-to. It seemed like his go-to was, I am going to make this, I am only going to answer questions about my report. My report, the 4 corners, as he called it, of my report, and what's in it. And so that's how he went into it. So a lot of the things, they would start to try to formulate their own opinion, and he would say, well, I cannot, I cannot adopt your characterization, he would say. And then they would go on to say things like, then they would kind of try to, so once they realized that he wasn't going to, he was a tough cookie to crack as far as, getting him to open up and give opinion outside of just the facts on the paperwork. And so they started, I think they kind of realized that halfway through in the morning, and they started kind of trying to use the facts to bring a result and get an answer, which is what it should be, which is why Mueller is getting a lot of heat from both sides right now. The Democrats are upset. Overall, this did not go well for the Democrats. Not at all. At all. They came out afterwards, after the afternoon meeting, and they tried to say, oh, this went so great, this went so great, this is so good for, Pelosi, and, now, and Swall Hall, he goes, this is just Act 1. When I was talking about Swall Hall, this is just Act 1. He goes, wait until Act 2, it's like, Act 1? What? This is, I thought this was the final act. I thought this was the movie. There was the book that he wrote, that's the report, but most Americans don't have time to read that many pages, and nor the patience to read all that crap, especially when it's not really producing anything from whatever side you're from. It's not producing anything. And they said the hearing will be the movie, Well, this movie got 1 star from both sides. It was a pathetic. It was pretty sad. He really did come off as an old man that was forgetful and that was just a figurehead. So then comes the afternoon. So I took note of what Ted Lieu brought up. I said, wow, I wonder. If there really was something, then if he loses this election or after his 4 years, this is before I found out that there's a statute of limitations that would expire before, if he wins another election, it would expire before he's out. And so, I saw that and I was like, wow. So, so I was kind of listening to that, and as soon as the afternoon one started, this is for those of you who didn't see it, because someone said, "Give me the skin." So in the afternoon, they started out the hearing with, "I want." He said first before we start, I want to correct something from this morning. He goes, I am not saying that that's the that we are withholding charges until he is out of presidency. He basically cleared it up and said, no, it's because we don't have him anything to charge him. There's nothing to charge him. And so then the Republicans kind of went on the attack, and I think they did well. There was this one particular Republican, I can't remember his name, but for those of you who will know when I start talking about it, he pulled out a stack of laws. Then he pulled out the Constitution, all books. Then he pulled out from the law school that Mueller went to, which I believe, actually I know, it was the University of Virginia. After he was done with the Marines, he went to the University of Virginia in law. And when he brought all that, and of course the guy had to be a little bit sarcastic, almost like, well, I had to make sure that, where they taught you law, that they didn't teach it different, but is it not true that, I mean, you at the end, he goes, the second to last word in the whole report is, this does not exonerate the president. Whereas the whole morning, so first let me tell you. So what he was getting at was, exonerate is not a legal term. Even if he could exonerate the president, he can't put it in his report because it's not a legal term. It makes no sense. There's like the guy said. There was no office of exoneration where you went to law school, right? You ever heard of the office of exoneration? He goes, what is this? That it's supposed to be totally unbiased by the facts. And the second to last word of your report is, we cannot exonerate the president. Now, the president has been using that word, but that's different. That's politics. When we're talking law and we're talking prosecution, exonerate is not a word. It's not a legal term. So that was a boom. That was like a big moment, because just before that, there was a Democrat speaking to him, and he was going into, well, if you can't not exonerate, but he was going into the word, the only reason into how there's no collusion. He goes, the president keeps talking about how there's no collusion. He said, well, isn't it true that there's no legal term for collusion? Well, there is, but it's not. The term is not collusion. The term would actually be um, conspiracy, not collusion. The term would be conspiracy. So once that was kind of out there, they started referring it to a conspiracy, and that's why it was so sweet when that guy started pulling out the Constitution, all the laws, brought the law books from his own school, and he goes, okay, so all right, so you can't say collusion only because of the term, okay. Well, why is it the second to last word, the last sentence is, although this does not exonerate the president? Well, exonerate, he goes, I've never been to the office of exoneration. Is exonerating a legal term? And that was a big moment in the hearing. So it seems like the aftermath of the hearing, the president again is declaring like total victory, and he really should. At first, it seemed like on the news, like I said, Swallow Hall, oh, this is just Act One. And you know what? You know what? Just for the sake of Trump being elected, I feel like he's gonna win no matter what. But it's almost like a no matter what win if they continue down this path of trying to impeach, which is what it seemed like Pelosi, Schumer, Schiff, all of them were starting to say afterwards in their press conference. So let them go down that road. Let them go down that road. Watch how bad it turns out for them. Um, it wouldn't be good. And that's why I think Pelosi actually, she's kind of changing her tune a little bit today. I think she's kind of testing the waters. But once she gets home and starts getting reports, and they start looking at social media, they start looking at the reactions of this. Mueller came off as somebody who couldn't remember a thing. It seemed like he didn't even do this investigation. Honestly, they're talking about like the most obvious of stuff that I remember from reading, and I know it inside and out. And he's like, "What? What is that? What? Well, what page? Page 82? Which paragraph? Oh, the second paragraph. Okay. And it starts. How's it start? Okay. Okay. Can you read it? Okay." And then the guy would read it, and then he'd say, "Well, would that be something that?" And he goes, "I can't answer that. I can't answer that. I can't answer that. I can't answer that." To both sides. It was horrible. It was horrible. He basically came in, and the Democrats expected him to breathe life into this, but instead, it's almost like he like sucked the life out of it. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. I have nothing against the guy Mueller. A lot of people don't like him, and after this, he's gonna end up being one of those guys that both sides don't like. Kind of like a. There's a couple figures like that who turned out like that pissed off both sides, like Comey. But no, I think he's of higher integrity, and the Democrats are angry right now. They wanted something to come of this, yet nothing's going to come of it, except for if they continue down this path. See, the president is taking this as like a big victory, and rightfully so. But I think that they should honestly be. I think the Democrats should honestly be kind of the ones wanting to let this go, because if they have any chance of winning, this is not the path. The path is not to make a martyr of this president. He will win again. They will not be able to impeach him legally. And the Republicans hold the Senate, and they're the ones who would do the impeaching. So how does that I don't see a way forward. I think either way, this president set it up perfect. This is working out just right. And by the way, as far as Q goes, for what that's worth, for those of you wondering, he coined this phrase here, 2019, year of the boomerang. And I think things are coming back around. And people are going to start getting behind this president. And I think that once they start to realize that they have been wasting their time. And people, when you sit there and when you get in an argument with friends about politics, I try not to argue with friends about politics, but when I do, right now, those same people, I know, because they've told me, they feel so stupid. They feel so lied to. They put all their faith into this Mueller report. And now the Mueller report came out. Now he's testified. And they're realizing this really was a hoax. This really was just all crap. Yet here we are after the Mueller investigation. If you turn on the TV, you're going to hear a bunch of Democrats talking about, well, this is just Act One. Act One. I thought this was the final act, and that's it. But hey, good. Let it be Act One. It's not exactly good. It's a lot of stress on the president. But it's like, I think he's going to win no matter what. But it's like a definite win if they keep this up. They want to keep this going? Go ahead. I can't wait till the Inspector General report comes out. That's what I'm looking forward to, because that's going to look into how did we get here? What what were the facts that caused this investigation? And that's what I think Q is all about. That's what I think this Q thing is all about. Whether it's AI or real or an actual team, calling themselves Q. One thing I do know is that it's not BS. It's not. It's either some type of artificial intelligence that's able to like just kind of predict in some way, but I believe that it's legit or AI, like I said. So So that's what Q was talking about a lot today. He also brought something else up, and that was Ilhan Omar. We were talking about her the other night. Well, interview resurfaced from Al Jazeera, of course, right? She's talking to Al Jazeera, and they're asking her. They said, "What is your opinion on the American people, and um, how they feel about Muslims? Are they not right to feel some type of way against them? Not just against Muslims, but more so because of their own safety." And then he named a bunch of terrorist attacks, and it was at that point that she said, "It's not the Muslims they should fear; it's the white men." I mean, if that's not racism, what is? It's reverse racism at its worst. You don't fear the jihadists that have been who are basically causing death and destruction and fear, most of all fear, and the whole Western civilization. Just fear the white man and the Jew. You know, whether you agree with maybe the second half of that or not, it doesn't matter. That's not right for her to come out and say that in defense of terrorists. It just blows my mind with that woman. But I just wanted to give a little bit of update what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the Democrats come out almost like with this false bravado, like, "Oh yeah, this is just Act One," and then as they're starting to realize how the public is perceiving this, they're starting to deflate and realize this isn't too good. So I think if you're a Trump supporter, today's a good day, and it's a good sign of things to come. And I'll be doing a show tonight, but I just wanted to also bring up the reason I'm just kind of doing it like this, like talking to you guys like this. I wanted to see if any of you guys had anything you wanted to, any opinions on this, but I want to make sure that at least this part gets out. So we're working on, for those of you who weren't there the other night, we are working on. I'm trying to crowdsource this. I was just gonna do it on my own, and I'm doing it on my own anyways. But I figured, hey, you know, uh, all these subscribers, more heads work better than just mine. So we're working on the Stranger Things video that I'm gonna be putting out. Stranger Things, a very entertaining show, has the nostalgia of the 80s, yet it also has symbolism from CERN, from D-Wave, and most of all, satanic symbolism. I wanted to see, it's something fun that you can do with your loved ones. You can just watch the show, and if you want to contribute, by Sunday night is when I'm going to do the video. And this will be a video I won't do live. I'll just kind of like make the video, and anybody who wants to submit anything that they see in the show, any opinions or anything, just email me at theredpillnews@proton.mail, and just put the season, the episode, and just write whatever you see. The description, or if you have multiple things, you can just list them for each episode, season, episode, and then a description of what you see. If you want to play along. If not, that video will be coming. The deadline will be Sunday night midnight, let's say. So Sunday night midnight. So basically, you have the rest of the week and the weekend. I'm not saying that you have to watch the whole thing. It's just if you want to participate, because there is so much symbolism in that show, and so many references to different things that are going on today that the untrained eye doesn't know. But I believe that I have a very intelligent audience with a extremely trained eye, and I think that you guys can help me. I'm already like 2/3 the way done. I'm working on the last season now. And then I'm gonna even go back and skim through it again. Every time I go through it, I find more stuff. So that's how much there is to find. We're talking things in the background, whether it be a picture, whether it be a symbol, whether it be a phrase on a store, whether anything, or just the obvious stuff, just the idea of what's going on, or or, obvious equipment. Hi. Hi. So yeah, so that's it. Just, easy peasy, no big deal. And I'd like to get that out there because what I've learned is that the best way to reach people, and what I believe is we're close to the last days. I do believe that, and I think that waking people up is important, and it's important to me, and it's also something fun, and it's a great show. It's unfortunate that the makers obviously you know have all this satanic symbolism, because you got to think in a show or a movie what they're drinking, what the way it's set up, whatever painting they have in the background. This isn't real. You can get lost in it and think it, but it's every little thing is set up, and when you keep that in mind, you start to notice every little thing. Start to see the black and white, duality checkerboard thing like they do in Mason lodges all over the country. Things like that. So look into that. Stranger Things. Just like I said, the Red Pill News at proton.mail. Okay, just send me the season and episode, and then just write a description or a list of whatever you see. And I'm trying to crowdsource it. Oh, thank you. So I'm gonna get back to family. I'll be on tonight. We'll do some call-ins tonight. I just wanted to give my opinion. I kind of like butchered it a little bit, but my opinion on what went on and what I saw coming from this war thing. I think that it was a good day for the Republicans, and I went into it with an open mind. I went into it trying to look at it from either side. So that's what I have for now, and then we will join you tonight. All right, guys. So I'll see you guys tonight, and thank you for stopping by. I hope that this was at least somewhat informative on what went on today at the Mueller thing. If you guys were at work, I had the day off today, so I've been home and I watched the whole thing. And he honestly, he almost seemed like he didn't even do this investigation himself. Seriously, he came off like, wait, what was it? It's like, it's your own words. This is your, right? You wrote this, right? Isn't this your report? Like, you did this investigation? Like, how do you not know these things? So it was kind of, there were some things I understand he can't answer, it's ongoing investigations, all this other stuff. But there were other times it was just as simple as, like, can you refer to when you're talking about da 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 da? And he goes, what is that? What page? It's like, what? This is the Mueller report. That's your name, right? Mueller? So it was bad. It was bad. It didn't go good for the Democrats. And I knew it wouldn't. I knew it wouldn't. And if they want to continue, if they want to call this Act 1 instead of the final act, so be it. It's sad for our president, but so be it. Because they're losing no matter what, in my opinion. But especially if they keep this stuff going on. The people are well awake to what's really going on. What they really need to investigate is the origins. How did this start? Well, they are. The attorney, the inspector general. So look for that. Wait till that comes out. That'll be a big moment. Also, for those of you guys, whether you follow Q or not, or don't believe or do believe, it's worth paying attention to, especially until they leave for August break. I would check it out. And the best place to go is QAnon.pub. And if you want to look at the story on Ilhan Omar from Al Jazeera when she is interviewed and they ask her, they say, well, don't you see why Westerners would have some, fear or, a certain feeling towards jihadism? And she said what they should fear is the white man. And she said a lot more than that too. So if you want to check that out, that's in the description below. And while you're down there, if you guys should hit the thumbs up, get this out to people. More so, I just kind of want to get this this out to people so they know about what we're doing with Stranger Things for this Sunday night. And I will see you guys tonight. All right, Red Pill signing off. You know when they need, you know where you need to go when you need your pads, right? All right, fellas. Take care.